I go and come back 2 hours later, and I'm like, what is this? what did you do?
This one is better.
Organized chaos.
Oh my gosh, did she just say that?
Nobody knows how to use a roundabout. So the roundabouts here cause traffic instead of ease traffic.
How do you feel that religion affects Ghanaians and the culture?
Religion is what keeps Ghanaians mentally enslaved. Ghana takes all the bad habits of the world and accelerates it. So marriage is definitely a thing that elevates people here.
Yeah.
And that's why we have so many marriages that shouldn't happen. I don't think that you're too good to eat like the roadside or like local food or local snacks when you were eating at McDonald's before. Like,
hi guys, welcome back. So today I have with me on the show Porsha, Miss Ghana.
hello.
So nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So we've met before. We've done a podcast before. But today we just found out something crazy, didn't we?
Very crazy.
Very. So Portia pulled up to my house and then she was like, why do you have my uncle on your gate? I'm like, what are you talking about? That's my dad. She's like, that's my uncle. And I was like, what? This is how crazy Ghana can be. Like, how?
Like we met each other and we had no clue that we were like direct relatives.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. Yeah. Like, I keep looking at you. I'm like, why didn't I see it, actually? Why did I not see this? Like, this could have been a possibility.
Yeah, I guess so, especially because we're both Ellis. So.
Yeah.
But in Ghana, I feel like there's like 1 degree. They usually say like 6 degrees or 7 degrees of separation.
Yes.
But in Ghana, it's like 1.
Absolutely.
1 degree.
Yeah.
You find a connection somehow. People you meet.
It's true. You got to be careful who you date. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely.
Okay. So I was going to ask you if you're Ghanaian, but I really don't need to ask you that anymore.
No.
That question's irrelevant now.
100% ever. 100% Ghanaian.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you speak Ewe at all?
I try. I'm trying to learn it. I can understand it more. I say Vivi.
Okay.
How about you?
You're like me. Yeah. I can understand it, but speaking it, I'm like, it doesn't quite, I can't quite get that. I can probably hold a conversation, but it would just be terrible. It probably just wouldn't sound very good. That's all.
I'm working on it. Give me like a year, then I'll be spinning out.
Yeah. For sure. So you're living in Ghana now, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been back?
Well, technically not by choice initially, but since the end of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not by choice? What does that mean?
Well, because I was still gonna be back and forth, and then the lockdown happened, and then I just never went back, and I never changed the ticket. Like I had a return ticket, and I just never.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just stayed?
Yeah.
Were you not working or anything like that? Did you not have commitments?
No, I never actually had commitments there. All the things that I was doing was really here, except for, I guess, some of the clothes. I would take clothes over there in the summertime and sell at the street fairs and stuff.
Right.
But otherwise, and then I had my brother there, but otherwise I didn't really have any real things tie me there. I would go there to get some peace of mind and some order and refresh, and then come back to the chaos of Ghana.
The chaos of Ghana. That's very true. Yeah. So what do you do?
I guess I can label myself as a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
Because I do a lot of things. It seems a little bit crazy to most people.
Not to me. I'm the same.
Yeah. So years ago, I helped my mom. Like I have 2 moms. They're twins. So my mom's twin sister. I helped her start a restaurant, and then I was going to Canada. I was in Canada most of the time. Yeah. And then when she recently passed a couple of years ago, I kind of took it over.
Right.
But then I closed that at the end of last year. Okay. And I've been working on opening a new restaurant. It's going to be open soon. Oh. It's called the Volta Bistro.
Oh, yeah. Sounds nice. Where is that?
It's in this little nook. Technically, the area is called Cantonment, but I feel like it's a no man's area. It's by LWAC.
Okay.
And Mother Care School.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's you'll be invited. You're gonna come.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And that's just one thing. So that's the food industry aspect. And then I have an online clothing store. I wasn't really pushing it too much because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and the tailors that I was having, like, I'd have to come and be on them and fix things.
Yeah.
It was just a whole lot. So I didn't like to advertise it too much, but I built a sewing space, and now I'm just looking at getting the right tailors so that I can whip out some items and then start pushing that. So it's there, but it's a little bit in limbo. Because people want to order things all the time, which I realize, like, the moment I just speak about it, people are like, I want this and this and this. And I'm like,
it's not hands off, is it? You have to be,
because the moment you leave, like, you can give. I give full instructions. I draw out, write out everything. I go and come back 2 hours later, and I'm like, what is this? what did you do?
This one is better. Have you heard that? This one is better.
It's okay. Let them try it. I'm like, no, my clothes, nobody needs to do a fitting. It should be the moment they get it, it works. Unless there's like a random thing that is unavoidable. But no, it should be ready to wear. But they don't understand the ready-to-wear concept. They're taught a certain type of sewing that they're like, that is it. That's the style. Like, no. Sewing has completely, like, changed, evolved over the years, and we're still being taught one basic thing here. So that's the clothing. I mean, this is one of the pieces. I started off with stretch because it was easier, and then switched to
that makes
more things, tailored things, and silks and satins and all the different fabric styles. So that's the clothing. So there's food, clothing, and then I have a traveling tour concierge company.
Really?
Yes, and it's a development company too. So I've been slowly but surely working on a project with the government. I don't know how much I can say about it, but it's so slow. It's taken over a year just to get to where I am, which is so close. I'm gonna start doing. I want to take on some tourist sites and have it be at the standard that I feel like they should be, and then use that as a benchmark for the other sites.
Right.
So that's what I've been working on. And then I've also been working on starting some school tours to orange farms. So, because we don't really have field trips that much here, I feel like. So I want to do that. Like, they can go to the orange. I don't know. I don't know if I should say so much. Ghanaians, I realize, they're not very innovative with their ideas, but they like to copy ideas, and they don't really do it well, and then it kind of will ruin your thing. So it's like when you speak too much.
I hear what you're saying, but one thing I've realized is that people can always copy you, but they can't be you. So because you have the idea, you have a certain USP to it. So even if they copy you, it's never going to be the same. They can never have the master plan, you know?
It's never going to be the same, but then sometimes you're like, like
you want to be the first.
It's not even about being the first. It's just I guess it doesn't matter. I guess you're right.
If it's for you, it will happen.
That's true. That's why I don't, like, even this, that it's been over a year. Like, I don't think that's a problem. Like, people get frustrated with Ghana and how slow things move. But everything happens in the timing that's supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel.
I agree. So is that all you do?
No.
She ain't finished. I knew it. Okay, what else do you do?
So besides my personal stuff, which I've kind of stopped, I model, I write.
You write
and
as well?
act, but I've never acted in Ghana.
Really?
The scripts that I was getting at first when I put it out there that I act, I would always end up like rewriting the script, and because you're reading through it and you're like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why am I doing the writer's work for them?
Yeah.
And then I'm not even wanting.
Yeah.
So I put that on hold and haven't explored that in Ghana. But I've written a few shows and ideas that I wanted to get done.
Okay.
So those are in a folder in the works.
Okay,
And
nice.
then, what is that? I have my NGO.
Okay, what's that about?
So one of the major things that we do is period poverty. So we provide period hygiene products to, currently it was to the girls in the Upper West region, and I'm trying to get funding to expand into other regions.
Wow.
So I got a recent opportunity, so hopefully it actually does pan out, and I'll be able to expand into other regions as well. And one of the things that we do is introduce period cups and pads to the girls, the reusable ones, so that they're getting more sustainable things instead of the pads that it's one and done. Yeah. And we have enough of a garbage problem in Ghana as well. So
very true.
I'm trying to get us to be more sustainable and self-sufficient. So so those are the things that I do.
Nice, good. I mean, I'm like you. I like to have my hands in many different things. I can't focus on one thing. Yeah. It just doesn't work. I'll get bored. I just I need to be doing multiple things. So I understand you completely.
It's organized chaos.
Oh my gosh, did she just say that? I say that all the time. I say that I'm an organized mess.
Yes.
That's what I say about myself, because I just have things everywhere, but I kind of know what I'm doing.
You know exactly where it is, how you're doing it, what you're thinking, like, it's all in your head. There's a plan. There's
there somewhere.
Order to it.
Right, yeah. Oh my gosh, this is freaky. Yeah. Wow.
First we're related and then we're so similar.
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, yes. So do all the things you do, do they financially sustain you while you're here?
Not particularly. I feel like they drain more. I mean, they were. The clothing line was actually very financially sustaining without much effort. I would really advertise and then I'd get sales. So that was good. But then because I was just getting really frustrated with the tailors, I kind of fell back on that. Yeah. And so in general, it's hard to have something that gives you good revenue stream, especially when you do all these things, because you're putting everything back into it. So I'm building up for the future where I'm gonna be financially sound. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a plan, I think.
Yes. I feel like I might get into this bad habit because I have all these things that I want to do, and so it's all going to keep forever going into different projects. Yeah. So I'm gonna have a lot of things done. But I won't be, and people will think, and so people always think that I'm well off and I have all this money, and I'm like, no, what puts that out? I'm just the most simple, casual person. I don't have any physical. I don't have any disposable income, is what I should say. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Everything's accounted for. So I'm always thinking about that, the next thing, or how to develop what I'm doing, how to expand on it. Yeah. I think that's a great thing to do, because I'm the same. I'm I always say, I don't have no money. I don't have no money. It's not that I don't have money per se. It's just that any money that I do get goes into projects and things that I'm doing. So you're always reinvesting, which I think is part of the entrepreneur's journey anyway, So it's kind of that. It's not for everyone. I noticed a big push for entrepreneurism, and not everybody's supposed to be a boss. Not everybody is supposed to be a leader, and it's okay. Some people, it's good to have a 9 to 5. It's good to get instructions and just do your thing and go. It's not, because an entrepreneur is a 24-hour job.
Don't stop.
And sometimes I envy people who have a one-track mind, or they're good at one thing. Then they're happy and comfortable just doing that thing. Go home, they're fine. But my brain just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's like constantly, you need
Things.
to do this, we have this, we have this, we have
Yeah,
this. So I'm like,
yeah. I get it. Would you say that you need to be an entrepreneur to be able to live here and sustain yourself?
It depends on the lifestyle that you're living. Because, I mean, if you're coming from outside
Yeah.
and moving here, then yes, you need to be, because I don't think, unless you're working for an international company that's here, you won't get the financial, the same level of pay
Yeah.
that you're accustomed to. And if you're unable to switch your mindset from a tourist to like an actual resident, your expenditure is going to be extremely high.
Yeah.
And you'll need to either be an entrepreneur or be in a high-paying international company. So that's.
Yeah.
But for a local person or somebody who has adjusted and adjusted their lifestyle,
Yeah.
they don't need to be an entrepreneur.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. So since you have moved back, has there been anything that has sort of taken you by surprise?
I
It says it all.
it's a funny question because every day, every hour, every moment, something takes me by surprise. But then at the same time, you're like, why am I surprised by this? This is like the surprise element of Ghana is what's normal about Ghana.
Yes.
So like just now, am I okay? Why am I surprised? I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So you constantly have moments, especially if you drive. If you're driving. God,
Tell us what driving is like. Did you drive the moment you came to Ghana?
unfortunately, I don't even know why my cousin just like gave me his car when I first came back to Ghana in 2011.
Yeah.
My cousin let me drive his brand new car. I think he was a little crazy.
Surprised, huh? Like, you trust me? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, driving in Ghana is wild.
Yeah.
It's very wild. But I like driving. So, because when I'm not driving, I feel so anxious in the car. Like
Right, being the passenger.
Yes. Like the way that they drive, especially like the Ubers and how they'll be driving slow or timid. Like you have to have a little bit of aggression when you're driving here in order to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, like even to like turn, some people will sit there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just merge. Like
Yeah.
nobody knows how to merge. Nobody knows how to give way. Nobody knows how to use a roundabout. So the roundabouts here cause traffic instead of ease traffic.
Yes.
So like there's just so many things that they're like most people don't actually go to a driving school. They just get paid for their license. So it's a bit crazy. So driving here, they say if you can drive here, you can drive anywhere.
I believe it.
But yeah, driving here can be a headache. Can be stressful. But I just like it.
Yeah. I mean, the freedom of being able to drive yourself is just pure bliss, and not having to rely on Ubers, because Uber can do anything to you.
They can,
you know.
I've been in an Uber and got into an accident. Like the Uber driver, for whatever reason, was driving on the wrong side of the road, first of all. And then a car that was turning onto their lane. Like it just crashed. It was such a freak accident. And I burst my lip a bit.
Oh my gosh.
And then they were like, why weren't you wearing your seatbelt? The seatbelt wasn't working.
Oh,
hello.
Wow. You can't make this stuff up, honestly.
Yeah, I've had almost every experience you can think of. I've had it.
And that's a short space of time too.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. So it's something.
Yeah. What made you decide that you wanted to move back to Ghana anyway? Because you mentioned 2011. That was a long time ago. Most people were not even looking at Ghana at such a time. What intrigued you about it, even though you are Ghanaian? What intrigued you about it at that time?
So, I don't know. It's kind of weird, or I don't know if it's weird, but like there was just this voice that just kept saying, you need to go to Ghana, you need to go to Ghana, you need to go to Ghana. And at that time, it had been almost I had come to Ghana from middle school.
Oh, okay.
So I was here from the end of 1999 till the beginning of 2003. So that's like close to 4 years, 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So I was there, and then I hadn't been back since.
Right.
And then I don't know, something just kept saying, come.
Yeah.
So then I just told my parents, I'm gonna go to Ghana in December of 2011. And then my mom was like, oh, I'll come with you. I was like, okay, very fishy. But then I was unaware that her twin sister's son, he's my cousin, but like my half brother.
Yeah.
He was getting married that December. She didn't even tell me. I was like, so he thought the whole time that I was coming all the way to Ghana for his wedding.
Oh, I see.
And I was just surprised. My mom was like, yeah, he's getting married. I'm like, what? Why didn't you say something?
Yeah.
So that's why you're coming with me? Interesting.
Right.
And then it may be crazy, but the year before, I had gone to a psychic for the first time. Ghanaians are going to be like, oh, my God. Yeah. But I went to one, and they told me that my brother, who's not my brother, is going to get married on Christmas Day. And I was like, what kind of nonsense is
right.
And that was August of 2010. So I had assumed it was that year that it was supposed to happen. So I asked my brother, I called him up, hey, do you have a girlfriend? Are you planning on getting married? He's like, there's a girl I like, but no.
Yeah.
And then I even messaged my cousin, and I was like, hey, so you... And he's like, it's kind of complicated, but there's this girl that I'm dating. She's really nice. I'm like, okay. That wasn't who he actually married.
Okay. Wow.
He married his ex-girlfriend. I'm putting your business out there. I'm sorry. But, yeah, and they had 2 beautiful kids. But, yeah, so it was a random voice.
Okay. So you went to a psychic.
Yes.
As an African, that sounds probably crazy to a lot of people. Why did you decide to go to a psychic?
There's this street fair where I am that they had all these artsy things, and there'd always be this psychic that would put her tent there. I guess she had her business on that street. I never even knew. But every year I would see the tent is up there, and then there's always a long line.
Yeah.
And I'd always want to do it, but I'd never want to stand in that line.
Yeah.
But then,
no one likes lines.
Yeah. So then this 2011 August, because I had actually moved to that area, and I was working in the area at this restaurant, and so I just strolled down, and there was only one person in the line. I'm like, oh, let me try this out. Let me just check it out. And I went, and it was an experience. I started off with a lecture.
A lecture?
Because when I came in, she was like, why are you here? Like, you're somebody who shouldn't even be here. Like, you have the gift. So why are you coming to somebody to, like, do this? And I'm like, I mean, when I was younger, I would have these dreams that, like, would come true of my life. Like, I would have but then it kind of just went away. And then I was living my life. Sometimes I barely remember the dreams. Yeah. And it would just be a thing. So I just never really thought anything of it. And she was just like, I didn't even sit down before she was like...
Really? She just gave it to you?
What? Yeah. She's like, do you know how people wish they had this kind of gift? And you've been blessed that you're coming to me. And she was going off. I'm like, so should I go? She's like, if you want to sit down. So like, I don't know about this gift. Like, how am I supposed to work on it or anything? I don't know any of this.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's lots of resources. You should look it up and learn. I'm like, okay, thanks. and then she proceeded to tell me, I guess all the things that she told me was like over a year's worth of stuff. She just couldn't stop. Like she just kept going and saying all these things that I'm a very skeptical person. So even when she gave me that whole lecture, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. And then I never gave her anything. Like when she would say something, I wouldn't validate it. I would just be like, like, okay, whatever. Like, this is like bizarre. Like, but some of the things she said, it was after when it would be happening. I'm like, oh my God, that's what she said. Because she said something about, I'm going to go on the biggest ship in the world. And at that time, even the thought of cruise ships wasn't even in my mind. Like I went on houseboats before. Okay. That's just a little thing. Like it's not a cruise ship. So I was like, a houseboat? I'm gonna go on another one maybe. But a houseboat's not the biggest ship in the world. What is this woman on? Like everything she was saying, I'm like, this woman's crazy. And then the next year, and then that December, my boyfriend gave me this gift of a cruise ship.
Really?
And then he had picked, it was a brand new Princess Cruise, the biggest in the world.
Wow.
And I was like, this is
wow.
This
So
is
do you believe in this stuff?
I mean, everything she said validates, but then the thing that people try and say, like, you don't know where they're getting it from, like if it's of good or if it's of evil, but how do you differentiate? Like, because people will be like, oh, in the churches they're prophets, and the prophets are doing the same thing, they have that clairvoyance, but they're like, okay, how do you know that guy in that church is getting it from good sources just because he's in the church? Or they're saying, oh, because he's not profiting. Yes, he is. He's collecting offering. Yes. He's collecting money for side prayers. It's all a business. Just like the psychic is collecting money to do the same thing. So I feel like, yes, these things are real. And yes, they're gifts or you can tap into it somehow. But so you have to be careful. But it is there.
So do you, like, obviously coming to Ghana is very much made up of Christians and Muslims, right? How do you feel that religion affects Ghanaians and the culture?
Religion is what keeps Ghanaians mentally enslaved. Yes. Okay. Like, Ghanaians were always, like, very spiritual. Like, I feel like colonization really stripped Ghana or the people of their true spiritual connection with God. Like everything was just, especially like the Ewas, like the Voltarians. Apparently, I was seeing recently, they're claiming that they were the original Hebrews. Okay. I was like, okay. But I mean, I know the Ewa history that we migrated from like Egypt down to the Nigeria area and then to Benin and out. So I guess it could be possible. But the Ewas have always had deep like spirituality and deep connection. And then during colonization, during slave trade, they marketed it as evil. To be able to cut the Ghanaians from their culture and their roots and use Christianity as a weapon to control them. So I feel like their Christianity is good. I think all religions have their purpose and they're good. But humans are a problem. So we are the ones who cause all the negativity or like using Christianity to control, like telling them white is good, black is bad, and all these kind of things. And it's crazy because it's only been a few hundred years, but in those few hundred years, they've been able to cut our thousands of years of history and brainwash us against ourselves to think that what was originally ours is so demonic, so evil, so bad, that people have white Jesus, the actor, on their walls, worshiping, idolizing Mary, doing all these things that aren't even of Christ, and then they're claiming that this is our culture. This is the Ghanaian way. And even all these negative aspects of religion that those who brought it onto us are trying to correct and go away from. We're rather fighting them that, nah, this is our code, this is the right way. I'm like, you guys were given these bad habits, and you resist unlearning the bad habits. So religion is a little bit of a tough one here. It really causes us to be set back, because even development-wise, there are millions of churches. Like, a church will pop up. There are churches, unsanctioned churches everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're collecting money, and you see them. They'll always start, like, even by my house, there's a church in an incompleted building. And then next thing you know, because you leave them alone, because if you go after them, then you're a witch.
Right.
And then they've taken over someone's property before you know it. Wow. They're building up, and they've built 2 stories. They've put in mega speakers, because apparently in Ghana, God likes noise. I've never heard that before.
God likes noise.
So they disrupt the whole neighborhood, and it's like, all for what? Like, what is your goal? Like, your street is still a mess. Your community is still a mess. Your church members are continue coming to feed on that hope that you're selling and prosperity that you're selling, and you're not serving your community, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
Because like, in Canada, I loved church. In Canada, I would go to church. I would even do the Sunday school. Like, I'd volunteer. I'd do all these kind of things, because I could see the actual impact of the churches.
Right.
Not just, I went to the Pentecostal, and I grew up in a Roman Catholic church. I went to a Roman Catholic school. I've been confirmed, all that.
Yeah.
So, and I could see that in all the different types of churches, regardless of what church it is or how strict they were with ways or not, they would help the community. Yeah. Like, you could, there would be a bin for non-perishable foods in almost every church, and you could drop things in or take things out, no questions asked. Yeah. Like, because some people are coming to church and they're hungry, they haven't eaten. Yeah. And some churches would have, after each service, a little table of just pastries, snacks, drinks, so that you could get some nourishment. Yeah. And if you actually needed help, you would go to the pastors, go to the whatever secretary, go to people, and actually be able to speak to them, and they would see what they could do, rally the community to support you, which was the opposite of church here. When I came to Ghana in middle school, even though I went to Christ the King, and I hated going to the church on Sundays. Yeah. Because I was like, this is just like a fashion show.
I said the same thing when I came here, you know.
And when I tell people that, like, in Canada, at church, someone can get up and go to church in their pajamas. Nobody cares. Yeah. They're there. They're getting the word. Yeah. They're getting the community. They're getting to see people, and they're going. Yeah. But here, you have to wear your Sunday best. You have to make new outfits. Like, why? Why are you spending that money? For what? Yeah. Who are you trying to impress? Because even this body that we're in, God doesn't care. Yeah. It's your soul and your spirit is what you're supposed to be feeding and building. And they're here to gossip about who's wearing what, who's doing what, who came here and which taxi or which trotro, which car, and what offerings were given, and like, why?
Yeah. No, I completely relate to everything you're saying, because for me, I used to go to church in the UK as well, and I loved going to church. But then when I came to Ghana, I wanted to do the same thing, and then I struggled to find somewhere that I would feel at home, that something that resonated with me, because like you said, I felt like it was a fashion show. I'm like jeans, trainers, you know, that's how I'm going to church, and you couldn't really do that.
They would like look at you like there's something wrong with you. Yeah. Like, don't you guys like to skip the parts in the Bible that actually matter? Like, God went down and was speaking to the like prostitutes, the sinners, the come as you are is what you're supposed to be doing. But you guys are not about that. You guys are just caring about yourselves, your appearance, your what. Everything here is keeping up appearances.
So do you feel like church in Ghana is business, more about business than anything.
It is 99% of the time a business. That's how it is here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's such a shame, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's so sad. Like sometimes I think like how the churches, even with my family, when we were moving to Ghana for middle school, it was kind of disjointed. My oldest brother was he was about to finish high school, so he didn't want to switch into a new school system. So they let him stay. But where he was staying, I guess my aunts and uncles, they were moving also to the States, which is funny because that guy ended up being the manager of Six Black, the musician.
Oh, okay.
My brother negatively influenced their religious household with his rap music.
Really? Oh,
so he
okay.
did it. So then he got into the music industry. But so when that happened, so for some time, our church got my brother a place to stay, like in there for temporarily during his transitional time.
Yeah.
Until then he and my dad was back there, so then they got a place to stay. But the churches help.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here, oh my God. It's the churches take from you here.
Yeah.
And they don't give. But there, the churches do their best to give.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even how people will be complaining about, like, people going to clubs and stuff. Like, there, the churches will have, like, entertainment nights. Like, they would do social gatherings, game night, karaoke.
So it felt normal.
All those kind of things. So you have that nice, safe environment to enjoy yourself, socialize, do all those things. But here they don't do any of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they wonder why, like, the society is the way it is.
Gosh. So would you ever consider going back from Canada, right? Would you?
When I have kids, I want to go back there for a bit. I well, it's not for everybody, but I personally liked and benefited from the partial stays in both places. Like, when I came here for middle school and I did the religious and moral education, and it taught us about all the different religions, that really resonated with me, and I liked that. And so, like, I like the different cultures.
Yeah.
Like, I like the structure that I learned in Canada. Like, I use my driving lessons from Canada to drive here in Ghana.
Right, yeah.
I didn't even know there were speed limits and things here for the longest time. I just decided, okay, well.
I didn't even know, actually. You're even telling me. I didn't know. Okay.
Sometimes, once in a while, you'll see a red circle. It doesn't say kilometers. It doesn't say miles. Just a red circle with a number. That would be 50 or 80 or something.
You just have to work out which one it is.
That's the speed limit. Oh. You just figure it out.
It's your problem.
Yeah. So I like what I learned in Canada, and so I want my kids to have those two experiences.
So I want to ask you something a little bit personal here. Are you married?
No.
Okay. So what's it like being in Ghana and being from an African household and being the age you are and you're not married? How does that affect you?
Because I broke my parents. Like, I feel like they're not. Them. So lucky for me, my parents don't have the privilege to act like traditional parents, traditional like Ghanaians. So they're used to. They know that they can't.
Yeah.
So that's like, if they, like, once in a while or before, they would kind of try to hint. I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you even dare at this conversation. I mean, it's bad because in the past, like, I've kind of cut them off a few times.
Yeah.
So, that's
but it's a real thing, because some people do feel a lot of pressure from their parents. Being Ghanaian and, being unmarried.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Like, and they even get treated, no matter their age, they get treated like children. To
Yes.
teenagers.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents would also do that before, and I would have to check them. Be like, hey,
Sit at the kids' table.
remember?
Yeah.
Like,
this is who
when
I
you were
am.
my age, I'm not a, because I think everybody does this. You imprint in your brain when you first met somebody.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, you'll see a cousin or someone and they're so grown, but you'll be like, oh, I remember when you were like this. So your uncles will tell you that all the time, aunties.
Yeah.
Because they just imprinted on them that first image. So then they'll treat you initially like when you were that way. And then they have to remember that, that's not that time.
Yeah.
So your parents will always see you as that baby that they first held and like talk to you like that and be like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the age you were when you already had 3 kids. Just remember that.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, oh. And then snap out of it. But like, or when they're trying to do some kind of curfew, people here will be 30 and be locked out of their gate. So like not allowed to go anywhere or this and this.
Yeah.
And like, you are adults. Like you have to transition with your parents from them seeing you and treating you as a child to seeing you and treating you as an adult. So that you can actually start to have relationships with them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us did not and don't.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
And they're actually like begging and waiting to have that kind of relationship with you. But that barrier is there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. And once you break it, then you're cool. But like I was saying, like I used to cut my parents off all the time. Like I never would talk to them, honestly. I would go for some years and I wouldn't talk to them, but I'd talk to like my mom's twin sister, or talk to like her friends, and I had my own adult relationships and connections. But then I was like, okay, I need to break this generational cycle.
Yeah.
I need to really need to do it.
Absolutely.
But I've been saying that for years, and it was still not getting done because it's a 2-way street.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what clicked on their end, but then it's just finally we just started to click. Like I you have to address everything, no matter how mundane they may think it is, because kids get affected by everything.
Yes.
And it's not the parents' fault. Half the time they're doing what they think is best, or they're doing what they didn't get to do, and they're not realizing. So they think in their head that they're fixing problems that they had as a child, but they're creating new problems by neglecting the actual human in front of them, getting to know who that human is, what that human wants. Instead, they're just imposing what they wanted as a child, what they wanted fixed
Generations
onto,
different.
and then creating the same generational issues.
Yeah.
And once you like tell them like, hey, you did this, remember you did this, you did this, you did this, and this is how it affected me, and I don't want it to affect me this way. I want us to have
those conversations are
it's very important, very tough. It's not just a one-time conversation, but I feel there's almost all my friends have issues with their parents, their relationships with them. And it's sad because especially now that I'm fixing these relationships, that like it's like we missed out on things. That you're like, because like my mom now every day, and then she'll be like, oh, I love you. And I'm like, the amount of times I was told I love you in like 25, 30 years was twice in my life. The amount of times I was hugged was once.
No, these are real issues, you know. No, it's true.
But now it's like she'll like try to make a conscious effort, and then so now I have to unlearn, and like I have to receive the love. So like every morning I pray. That's one of my prayers, that I am able to give love, but also receive love, and people receive my love how I'm giving it.
Yeah.
Because somebody will be trying, like, oh, my mom will come and try and hug me, and I'll still
Yeah. This is weird. This is weird. Like, what's going on?
What's happening?
I can definitely
You're
relate.
getting what you asked for, but you're still used to it in your head, like,
Yeah.
You know, so.
Do you think that a woman's success in Ghana is based on her marriage status?
Even well, here men think their success is based on their marriage status, and women as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of men who shouldn't be married who are married because once they got married, then it lets them get a promotion in work, elevated. Then we're still in that antiquated, and I guess it's not just in Ghana. This is something everywhere.
Yeah.
But Ghana, I feel like Ghana takes all the bad habits of the world and accelerates it. Yeah. So like we do everything in an extreme.
Yeah.
And that's why we're still having huge wage gaps. That's why we're still having people, women in no matter what position being forced. Well, they'll say that everyone has a choice, but you feel like you're being forced to do sexual favors or to do like those kind of things in order to be taken seriously. Yeah. And when you don't, it's such a long struggle and such a
crazy.
Long
But how
road.
can you be taken seriously having done that though?
That's the thing. And then, but that's how they
Yeah.
do. Like, so like I had decided, I don't know why I decided to do this, to show people that you don't need to do a certain thing to succeed.
Yeah.
And look how long, and it's taking me forever.
Yeah.
Like I only just recently got a loan to invest in my business, and finally from somebody who finally treated me like how they would have treated their guys.
Right.
And it took so long to get that. Everybody wanted to sleep with me before doing. It doesn't even matter, even with the NGO, even to donate, even to.
No.
And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
To donate,
girl. It's like I say, I don't know why I have this, but it's just God. Like I thank God for the strength that I had to be able to still to endure all those things and to not give in, because I was really actually thinking about like this past 2023. I'm like, is it really the end of the world if I do that? Like, because it's been so many years of you like trying to go further, and like nobody will give you that support that you need just because you have an attractive body that they want a piece of. Yeah. Like I've been on so many waste of time meetings, and it
wasn't a real meeting, was it?
It's not a meeting. They're just wanting to flirt with you. Yeah. They just want, let's cut to the chase. Like,
cut to
what
chase?
do you mean? Like,
chase.
Time is money.
Yeah.
Fuel isn't free.
Yeah.
Ubers aren't free.
Yeah.
Like I've wasted my time here coming thinking that, this is.
So what do you do? Something. What do you do when someone makes an advance at you like that? How do you stay in control?
I don't know how. I don't know what advice to give people as to how to handle it, because I don't think I've handled it too well. Okay. I mean, I'm kind of snarky, so I kind of just like sometimes I flip the script. I ask them like, so if I was a man, is this your policy that you do with everybody? Okay, so the guys that you've assisted, so you've slept with them? Oh no, how can you say that? I'm like, but I feel like I'm assuming, but you are different. Okay, so then like I try and flip it and see what they'll say. They often have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Like, they even get annoyed when they're embarrassed or when they're rejected. And some people have threatened to blacklist me or block me and this. Because they'll try and get ahead of the narrative because they think that I'm going to go out there and say something. Half the time, honestly, the way my brain works, I even forget people's names. I forget my friends' names. You are going to, when you're out of sight, you're out of mind.
Yeah.
The moment I walk out, you don't exist in my world anymore.
Yeah.
So like, if I didn't get anything from you, if we didn't get a fair exchange, that's it. Like, bye.
Yeah.
And like, so it even surprised me. There was one persistent person that was very irritating. I had to block them on my socials. Because like, I blocked them on WhatsApp because I realized like they're just continuously wasting time. Like, oh, they have this development thing that they're working on that they want me to be on board as an ambassador, blah, 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 this, waste of time. Then they just would keep messaging. Then they find me on Instagram and message. And then, like, we'll be flipping back and forth of, like, professional talk, but then send a picture, oh, this is my girlfriend anyways. I'm like, so, okay, cool. You have a girlfriend. So why are you talking? Why are you speaking to me?
Yeah,
Leave me alone. Yeah. And then they actually left me alone, or I had blocked them, I guess. Maybe that was why. And then at the beginning of this year, I unblocked everybody. I decided I don't want to, I don't know. I just decided, let me just do something different. Yeah. And I unblocked everybody. And I didn't think that when you get unblocked, somebody will even notice that you're unblocked. Right, yeah. It must be somebody who's like constantly trying to. Because then I got a message from this person, and I'm like, huh? He's back. Why is this person? Yeah, this person's back. And then acting clueless as to why I don't engage with them. I'm like, because you've wasted my time. Yeah. On a professional level. And they're like, oh, but if I'm interested in you, is that a bad thing?
These people, like,
the frustration.
Yeah.
So you have to really work on being able to not harbor hatred, anger, resentment. Yeah. Because that just eats your life. You become so rigid, so like, it really affects you. Yeah. And then people are like, oh, Portia, we miss your bubbliness. And I'm like, they have no idea how much on a daily basis you're just hounded and hounded and hounded. Okay. And it's so much of an emotional, it's a lot that you have to really be strong as a woman to handle and not get labeled in as difficult in this and that just because you're blocking sexual advances or not even laughing. And like, you really have to maneuver how to be. Yeah. And it's really sad that guys have that privilege of not even thinking about that. Yeah. But women have to.
It's difficult to be a woman sometimes.
So difficult. But it is what it is here in Ghana. So marriage is definitely a thing that elevates people here. Yeah. And that's why we have so many marriages that shouldn't happen. I think there was like the highest divorce rate apparently recently. Really? In Ghana. Like, so many divorces. Yeah. Within 1 year, people are divorced.
That's crazy. That was your boyfriend, not your husband.
Yeah. Like, it shouldn't even have been your boyfriend. Yeah. Like, I don't understand how Ghanaians operate that it's after marriage that they have the marriage talk. Like, how they like to live their life, what their values are. After. Or after they have a kid, that they're having conversations of how they envision raising their child, what system. You have to have those conversations before you get married. Absolutely. Then now before you realize that you guys are complete opposites. Yeah. And you're fighting. So what were you guys doing? Hooking up, that's it? Yeah. Yeah. And then, let's get married.
Because marriage is such a wonderful thing in Ghana. When I say marriage, I'm talking about like the wedding day.
The wedding day is all they care about.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what's wonderful to them. So,
that's it.
It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a huge problem here.
Like, people get in debt for their wedding.
I don't understand
that. They get viral. Like, the money that you are going to spend on the wedding, you should be spending on a place to stay.
Right.
Like, setting yourself up. All those things. Go sign. Have a little ceremony. Start your life off in the green.
Yeah,
But you guys are setting yourself off in the red.
Give me the broom, I'll jump it. I'm married.
Yes,
that's
you're
it. I'm good. I don't need all of that.
Like, we're not even supposed to be doing the white weddings. Like, you're doing double weddings. Do your traditional thing. Go. But now they consider the traditional wedding as an engagement. And that's not true. Knocking is an engagement.
Right.
Going to show intent.
But there's things culturally that we need to understand when it comes to doing traditional weddings as well. Because I recently heard that when you do a traditional marriage with someone, actually that man can now take extra wives because it's different type of wedding.
Yes.
So you need to understand the cultural aspects of that as well.
Yeah. So when you do a traditional marriage, you can then do the legal signing so that you're monogamous.
Right.
But if you don't you don't need to do a white wedding to sign.
Right.
You can do the traditional, and at the traditional, have the notary or have the whatever that person is and sign there, and your wedding is done.
Right.
But because people want to do the lavish thing, or some men intentionally will just do the traditional just
so that they can
have multiple wives. And if that's your vibe, just be with somebody who's okay with that.
Yeah.
Don't ambush them after.
It's true. I mean, you have to understand culture when you move to Ghana or any African place, anywhere actually. You just have to understand the culture and the reasons behind why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
You know?
But everybody's just cosplaying. And now the diasporans are extra in love with cosplay. Like, they come in and just put on the facade of the culture, but not really understanding the culture or like embracing the culture and just putting it on and off and like picking and choosing it. And that's also hindering things.
Yeah, it's true. You're very, very right. Okay, so what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about moving back from the diaspora to Ghana? What would you say to them?
I would say 2 things. Don't live your life converting currency.
That's always my number one.
Like, how you should think is 1-to-1. No matter what currency you're moving into, never think, $1 is 10 cedis or 15 cedis. Think of $1 in 1 cedi. If would I pay $1 for this, then it should be 1 cedi that I'm paying for. Like, if it's more than that, like, that's why, like, snacks on the roadside, now that the inflation is more.
Yeah.
But you should be thinking like that. Don't be thinking, this is only 50 cents, this is only this, or this is only $20. No, that's how you'll run out of money, and that's tourist living. Yeah. So always think about the value of the money wherever you are, as opposed to converting. So the second thing that I would suggest for diasporans that are moving in is to live the same life, or try to live the same life that you were living there. Don't think that just because you've gained a new sense of privilege that you should live in a high-class, high-end privileged lifestyle. Right. Like, don't think you're too good to take the public transit when you were taking public transit before. Don't think that you're too good to eat like the roadside or like local food or local snacks when you were eating at McDonald's before. Like, know like your level and your equivalents, because a lot of people get stuck and be eating at the Kozos, eating at the fine dining restaurants, taking these expensive Ubers or buy a car that they can't maintain or don't need, and be staying in a very expensive condo when they could have gotten like a more affordable, attainable thing for them, because they're also doing conversions that won't last. Because another thing in Ghana is it takes a while before you're able to get a revenue stream that is sustainable. So when you come for a good chunk of time, you're going to be depleting your savings. So you really have to think about that. Like,
Yeah.
enjoy your privilege, but don't let it get to your head.
Yeah. I think that's really great advice, actually. That's correct what you said. You are going to be depleting your savings in the beginning until you find a stable source of income. So that's gold, guys. Take note of that, definitely. But anyway, we have spoken a lot.
Forever.
My gosh.
We could have gone on and on.
I mean, I'm like ready. You got time there.
I have to come back.
Yes, we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that. But yeah, so let people know, where can they find you if they want to know some more about you, want to keep an eye on you?
So I have a website that I barely is PortiaGhana.com.
Okay.
PortiaGhana.com. So everything's there. My NGO, my clothing, my interviews. This one's gonna be on there too. So that's the easiest way. But then my Instagram is there. I haven't been posting much lately, but it's Miss_Ghana. So Miss Ghana. That's my name.
Your actual name is
Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Lucky you. Yeah. Okay, guys. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously, head over and subscribe to Portia's socials. Check out what she's doing. I'm sure she's going to do some amazing stuff in the future as well. Okay, so if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next